What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. My scarf's going to remain on my mic for the duration of this video because it is blistering hot outside right now. Just so you all know, this is not a dog sitting on my lap. I've had so many people in the comments be like, what is going on with your mic? I think it's hilarious. Let's talk about Death Knight, specifically Frost Death Knight. All Death Knights have had a massive class tree rework. Okay, we're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to talk about the Frost Dk rework. If you didn't know, there's been a rework on Frost Dk. I'm going to do Deathbringer soon also, so stay tuned for that video. But the entire bottom part of the tree has been changed. The mid section has had substantial reworks. The top section has had one major change, which is Everfrost moving there. We'll get to that in a minute. Let me cover the class tree. It's changed in some really big ways, okay? So let's look at that first, and then we'll jump into the spec side. Number one, baseline abilities that have been removed or abilities that have gone baseline or have been completely removed kind of thing. So AMS is no longer on the class tree for Death Knight. It's baseline. Chains of Ice is also baseline. There are still buff talents to both of these skills, but the actual abilities themselves are baseline. That's saving you 2 talent points. So if you did take Chains of Ice, which was very good on certain Mythic Plus weeks, especially AMS is massive to go baseline. All the stat nodes that were here are gone. There used to be like plus to strength and plus to crit, and like those are gone, which is awesome. I'm not sure if they actually just gave us those stats for free. I don't even care. I don't want them on the tree. So I'm glad that those are gone. Veteran of the Third War is a 1-point talent now instead of a 2-point talent, which is again massive change. It doesn't change in value. So it used to be 20% stamina for 2 points. Now it's 20% stamina for 1 point. You're just saving a point here, which is awesome. Blood Draw is a 1-pointer now, and it's a capstone node. It used to be like in the middle area here. It's now a capstone. It's basically like on the blood DK side of the tree. So you're only really going to go get this now if you need to go get it. So sort of like you can get more damage and utility as a Frost DK or an Unholy DK, but you are going to lose Blood Draw as an Unholy or Frost DK, because I just don't think you're realistically going to spend 3 points to get down here anymore. So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe you're going to miss this defensive. I don't think you're really going to miss it. We're pretty tanky without it. There's no empowered rune weapon on the class tree anymore. It is only for Frost DK, and I kind of love this. This is like a Frost DK thing now. You get empowered rune weapon, and nobody else does. But you also don't get 2 charges of empowered rune weapon like you used to. So that's a bit, not that we took that on the live servers anyway, but at least we had the option to take 2 points, like to get 2 charges of empowered rune. You can't do that anymore. So that's kind of, I think it's fine. It's probably a wash. Like, it's neither good nor bad. Like, you're going to get buffs in other ways, so it's probably fine. You now have better access to a bunch of talents that used to be down in the bottom part of the tree, and now they're up higher. So like Runic Attenuation is up here now. It used to be like in the bottom left here. Unholy Ground used to be in the bottom right. Now it's up here. So you get the haste buff in D&D. You get the auto attacks giving you runes. Those are like at the very beginning now. You pick them up. Unholy Bond is also here, which is down here. Increases the effectiveness of your rune forge weapons. That used to be in the bottom right hand corner as well. So that's awesome. You also have better access to things like Wraithwalk, which is amazing. I'm really happy that this is here, and it's something that you can actually easily take as you're pathing down, which is fantastic. A lot of those other talents that we used to have to take, like Chains of Ice, AMS, or the stat nodes that we got stuck on having to take, you don't have to take those anymore. So it frees up those talents, and you can take stuff like Wraithwalk. So now you can have 2 charges of Death's Advance and a Wraithwalk, which is really nice for Death Knight mobility. On top of that, the bottom capstone area is completely different now. So you have Runic Protection. Your chance to be critically struck is reduced by 3%, and your armor is increased by 3%. Great for Blood DK, like 6% on both of those. Great for them. Blood Draw is here. It's a 1-point node instead of a 2-point node. It's down here. Then we have, when you pull an enemy, the damage they deal to you is reduced by 8%. Again, quite good for Blood DK. Also fine for Frost and Unholy if you take Abomination Limb, which I'm not sure if you're always going to take this anymore. This no longer procs the special effects for each of the 3 specs. So for Frost DK, it was like Rhyme. You got a Rhyme proc. For Unholy, it was like the resource generating one, the Unholy something. I can't remember what it is now, but you get what I'm saying. You don't actually proc any of that anymore. You just do damage and you pull enemies. That's it. So Abomination Limb has a lot less value now to me personally. I think that extra proc that you were getting, like the rhyme proc, was very significant, and you're not getting that anymore. There could be cases where you just don't take this anymore, unless, you know, you're going into a dungeon with a lot of big mass AoE pulls. It's still a good like extra damage button, but I don't know. It's not gonna be that great necessarily. There could potentially be better options, is what I'm saying. Will the Necropolis is still here, and then we've got Osmosis, which is a new node for anti-magic shell. In the bottom right hand corner of the capstones are all anti-magic shell related. Anti-magic shell increases healing received by 25%. That's fine. I guess you could death strike, right, and get a lot of healing. And then you've got null magic. Magic damage taken is reduced by 10%, and the duration of harmful magic effects against you is reduced by 35%. That's just straight up amazing. That's really, really good for your personal survivability. Then you got Vestigial Shell. Casting anti-magic shell grants 2 nearby allies a lesser anti-magic shell that absorbs a certain amount of damage and reduces the duration of harmful magic effects against them by 50%. Very, very cool. I love when DPS or tank specs get extra utility they can give to the group. I think that's fantastic. So I like that a lot. Those are the changes that came through. Soul Reaper also went up to the middle. I should have said Soul Reaper is up here now. I don't know how much that really matters, but it's up here. That's it. So there's a lot of great changes there. All Death Knights get this, and it's very, very good. I'm very happy with the direction they went with it. You automatically get Cold Thirst now, so you get the extra runic power back. There's some really good stuff when you're kicking. Let's go to the Frost DK tree. Let's start at the top section and work our way down, okay? At the very top section, we have Everfrost. It used to be down here, right underneath Biting Cold, and it's now up here. So it's now something you're guaranteed to take every single time, no matter what build you're doing. So this whole stacking Remorseless Winter thing, you have to make sure that you're still pressing Remorseless Winter as soon as it comes off cooldown so that you can maintain the 10 stacks, and it will do lots of damage for you. The midsection is where it starts to get really interesting. This midsection of the tree here. This is the same. These Obliterate nodes are the same. Cold Heart is still here. Your Murderous Efficiency is still here. Now we have how Horn of Winter, is on the left side of the tree. It used to be on the right side of the tree. Now it's over here. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything except that you're going to have a couple of extra points that are freed up for you now, which is really cool. Check this out. Enduring Strength, 2-point node. It's now a 1-point node. Frostwhelp's Aid, 2-point node is now a 1-point node. The efficiency of both of these has gone down a little bit, but you're saving 2 talent points, which is amazing. That is the much, much bigger deal here, okay? Ice Cap's kind of moved up a little bit, but nothing's changed about that. Empower Room Weapon is here, and now you have a talent point that you can put into Empower Room Weapon because you don't have to spend 2 points on Frostwhelp's Aid and like 1 to 2 points on Enduring Strength, right? So now you get those points freed up for Empower Room Weapon, which is really cool. We have a new Remorseless Winter talent here. Each time Frost Fever deals damage, 15% of the damage dealt is gathered, and then your next Remorseless Winter will do big damage on the next time you cast it. So that's very cool. I like that a lot. Yeah, I think it's just a cool little talent. It's based on, obviously, the disease damage that you're doing from Howling Blast. Gathering Storm is still here. The rest of the midsection is the exact same. Nothing has changed on Chill Streak. Nothing has changed on Frostworms. It's just been moved up a little bit. So Frostworms Fury, I think, essentially no longer counts for the bottom section of the tree anymore, which is kind of nice. You can just get Frostworms Fury in this midsection if you want to. You could grab it like this, or you could take an Exorable Assault, whatever you wanted to do. I think probably Frostworms is fine. And then you're not taking any points away from the Capstone zone, right? Which is what you want. So let's talk about this. We have 2 new lines here that did not exist before. We're going to talk about this line first. So this is the Bone Grinder Obliteration. Those are still here. Okay, so Consuming Killing Machine gets you crit. Obliteration is, of course, the Pillar of Frost Obliterate build. And then we have a new talent here called Arctic Assault. This is really cool. Consuming Killing Machine fires a glacial advance through your target. This is insane because it means in your Pillar of Frost window, because of Obliteration, whenever you get a Killing Machine proc, you press Obliterate and it automatically fires a glacial advance, which will automatically proc Killing Machine and give you an Obliterate back. So inside your Pillar of Frost window, you just have to press Obliterate now. That's it. Now, you're going to run out of runes, but like you can do a lot of Obliterates, and hopefully you could just keep doing them for a long period of time. But I do think you'll eventually run out of runes. But either way, this is going to make your Pillar of Frost windows like way better, like way, way better. because you have less GCDs spent on just pressing a Glacial Advance because it gets fired for you for free, which is really cool. Okay, let's talk about this brand new line here. Smothering Offense into Icy Death Torrent into the Long Winter. Auto attack damage increased by 6%. The amount is increased for each stack of Icy Talons that you have, and it can stack up to 2 additional times. So Icy Talons is now here. It used to be in the bottom part of the tree. Your runic power spending abilities increase your melee attack speed by 6% up to 5 times. Now, that is only saying 5 times because I have Smothering Offense. The normal stack rate for Icy Talons is 3. You can get 6, 12, 18% more attack speed, but now I can get 30% more attack speed because I have the extra Smothering Offense, which is really cool. On top of that, this will be in a different video, but you can also take, not this, Painful Death, where is it? Where's the buff? Here it is. You can take Dark Talons in the Deathbringer tree, and it will give you 2 more stacks on Icy Talons, going from 5 to 7. And then 7 times 6 is 42% attack speed. That's kind of insane, right? Like, that's a ridiculous amount of attack speed. Now, that attack speed potentially generating runic power could really tip the scales and give us the build support that we need to do a Breath of Sindragosa build, where your auto attacks are just generating crazy amounts of runic power because of runic attenuation with these crazy stacks that you're getting from Icy Talons. That might be possible. We're going to get to that in a second. Either way, I think this is a really great talent. It's nice. Let's look at the next one. Your auto attack critical strikes have a chance to send out a sleet of ice, dealing frost damage to enemies in front of you. So again, if you're doing a Breath of Sindragosa build, you're just getting crit built up, and then before, like, basically you have very little AoE damage until you do your Breath of Sindragosa window. This gives you extra AoE damage outside of your Breath of Sindragosa window and inside of it as well, just all the time. You're getting these extra, I don't know how much damage it does, but we can see in a second on the dummies. While Pillar of Frost is active, your auto attack critical strikes increase the duration by 1 second up to 5. So now your Pillar of Frost window can go up to 17 seconds. That is really cool. And again, this plays into both the Obliteration style build or a Breath of Sindragosa build. You're going to want to have Pillar of Frost active for as long as possible during your Breath of Sindragosa build as well. So very good. This line to me is sort of like, you're going to take this line plus the Obliteration build, or you're going to take this line plus the Breath of Sindragosa build. I think this is realistically what you're looking at. When you're talking about Mythic plus AoE builds, you can either do this Obliteration build or a Breath build, but you're always going to take this because I think it supports both of them. I think it's really cool. The last line here, it starts with Avalanche, which we already had, and Shattering Blade, which we've already had as well, but we didn't take it. It used to be up here in the left middle here. When Frost Strike damages an enemy with 5 stacks of Razor Ice, it will consume them to deal more damage, which is really cool. Here's the new talent. Shattered Frost. When Frost Strike consumes 5 Razor Ice stacks, it deals 50% of the damage dealt to nearby enemies. Deals reduced damage beyond 8 targets. So this is an uncapped AoE proc. It does do reduce beyond 8, but it's still uncapped in that sense. And it's all based on your Frost Strike. So I don't really know when you're going to want this, because this screams to me single target, right? Frost Strike damage it does double damage when it consumes 5 stacks of Razor Ice, but then you're getting this AoE component of it as well. So like you're getting a double damage Frost Strike that's going to splash to nearby enemies. Is it single target? Is it AoE? I'm not entirely sure why this exists or what they're going for here, considering I feel like we've got like a big mass AoE build with Breath of Sindragosa and possibly the Smothering Offense line, or you've got a funneling cleave obliterate build going on with Arctic Assault line. So this line to me, I don't really know where it fits in. You could do a single target build where you get Shattering Blade somehow. I don't know how you do that. You'd probably have to take, maybe you take Froststrom's Fury away or something. You'd have to figure that out, but maybe there's a way to get Shattering Blade and then you don't actually care about Shattered Frost for like a raid build, right? You take like this line and the Obliterate line and then you get Shattered Blade somehow. But like this extra talent, I'm just not sure where Shattered Frost fits in. That's what I'm not too sure about. But either way, I love the Smothering Offense line into the Long Winter. This is awesome. Extending Pillar of Frost is awesome. All the talent changes up here are amazing. Getting 1 points on Enduring Strength and Frostroom's 8. We might be able to get Horn of Winter now, which would be actually really great. I think Horn of Winter is an awesome cooldown. And obviously Horn of Winter works really well with Rider of the Apocalypse because you get cooldown reduction on it somewhere. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. There it is. Horn of Winter right there by 15 seconds. So you'll have a better opportunity of actually choosing Horn of Winter because you have more talents being freed up. Everfrost being in the top is fantastic. This new buff to Remorseless Winter is pretty good. There's one talent here that's under construction still. I don't know what this is going to be. This is hopefully going to buff Breath of Sindragosa in a really big way, and hopefully is going to generate more runic power for you. But we're going to have to wait and see kind of how that all pans out. Let me show you what this looks like. I'll show you like the Obliterate build with the Smothering Offense line. I'm not going to press Reaper's Mark yet. I'm not going to do any of the Deathbringer stuff. I'm just going to show you how this would work if you didn't have any hero talents, okay? Because that's just going to be better off. So we would start with our Remorseless Winter. I'll go into my big cooldowns. I'm going to drop this, okay? Now we get automatic. That should be proccing, right? Oh, it doesn't actually proc it. Am I crazy? I thought it was proccing it. There we go. Either way, the damage is really good. I thought it was going to proc it there. Give me a second. I feel like the Glacial Advance that's being sent out was not proccing my Pillar of Frost automatically, which I'm a little bit salty about. So let's see if it does it again when we get our Pillar of Frost back here in a second, okay? My haste is really abysmal, so just bear that in mind, okay? The damage is not going to be that good. Just bear that in mind. Okay, here we go. We got Pillar of Frost. We're going to go Pillar of Frost. Then we're going to go Obliterate. And then Obliterate. It didn't proc it for me. So that's interesting. I can't tell if that's a bug because it should be proccing a free killing machine for me and it's not. So I don't know what's going on there. But either way, that's not okay. If you see what I'm saying here, this consuming killing machine fires a Glacial Advance. That Glacial Advance should proc killing machine because Glacial Advance always procs killing machine during Pillar of Frost. So there's something going on there. It's potentially a bug. The bottom line is it doesn't even really matter because it just feels really good to play. I wish I could actually look at the DPS numbers and see how much damage like my auto attacks are now doing. And I wish I could look at my buffs and see what my uptime was on Icy Talons. I can't look at any of that right now, but I think that this works really, really well. I could potentially try a single target build with Breath of Sindragosa. We could just give that a shot. I have no idea if that's even going to work, but we could try it. Let's give it a shot, shall we? Really quickly, I'll do a Breath of Sindragosa build for you guys. We'll dual wield here. Okay, and then I am going to take this. So this Icy Talons thing will probably be... It'll be stacking up. We'll see if we can get Icy Talons all the way up to 7. That'd be kind of neat. So here's our Breath build. We have our Empowered Rune Weapon, and then we're going to make sure we build up a bunch of runic power first, and then we're going to go right into Breath. I don't really know how to play the Breath build that well, so bear with me because I'm definitely going to make some mistakes here. But we'll give it a shot, okay? So we'll start with this. We're going to drop this. We'll build up some... Okay, we're basically at max here. Here we go. Here goes Breath. I'm just going to keep obliterating. There we go. We'll drop another D&D. I gotta wait a second. We're running out. Oh, I can't tell if my auto attacks are doing the... I think my auto attacks are kind of doing the thing. We have 5 stacks of Icy Talons right now. Our attack speed is like crazy. Oh, we lost our breath there. So I lost my breath. Unfortunate. Again, I don't know what the best way is to do a breath build. I'm not even sure if a breath build is possible. My haste is also terrible right now. It's terrible, okay? So just always keep this in mind that it's just... These things are going to get better if we get more gear and yada yada. So also you can see the auto attacks are pretty cool. I'll just show you the auto attack should proc the sleet that goes off. There's a sleet right there. I'm going to build up some stacks of my icy veins or Icy Talons. Sorry. Not sure if it's actually getting any. What do I have to do here? Oh, runic power spending. Whoops, my bad. Spend some runic power, shall we? You can see that little like wave of frost that goes out. That's pretty cool. There it is, another one there. That's pretty cool. So you just get a bunch of free damage, which I like. I think that's actually kind of cool. Your auto attack critical strikes again. My crit is terrible, right? My crit should be at like 40 and my haste should be at like 30. In fact, my main or my Frost DK on live actually has those stats. So imagine if your stats were better, you could potentially do a Breath of Sindragosa build, and we have no idea what this talent's going to do yet. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up working out. Okay. So that's the rework. That's how it looks. I think Blizzard is getting very, very close to having a Breath of Sindragosa build work really well with the Smothering Offense line, and a Arctic Assault, you know, an obliteration build, sorry, work with the new Arctic Assault, which I'm going to put a bug report in right now, and then it might work with Smothering as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think about Frosty K? I think this is a lot smoother. It feels a lot better. I think Frosty K is actually in a very similar vein to like Enhancement Shaman now. They have a bunch of procs of damage going off for free, like all over the place, to help supplement their AoE damage, which tends to be a little bit more funnely because of your obliteration. Like obliteration's just cleaving, right? It's cleaving and maybe funneling a little bit, but you don't have like big mass AoE going on, except for like Remorseless Winter and some of your disease. So having some extra splash AoE going on, or getting a really good breath build, might be in the future for Frosty K in the War Within. Let me know what you think in those comments down below. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.